Good morning. Wow, that's loud. My name is Rev Kylie Renner, and on behalf of the entire One Spiritual Center community, I just want to welcome you here today. Thank you for bringing your love and your presence into this space on this gloriously beautiful morning. I hope you had an okay time with parking. We found out that the lot was closed this morning when we got here. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you found parking. So I am going to actually start with a gratitude today for the team that showed up yesterday at Roadrunner Food Bank. So one of the things that is really important to me is that we take these spiritual principles and take them out into the world and make sure that we are activating this kind of sense of service and putting our love into form and into action. That is one of the values that shapes my life. And so I'm always grateful when people join me in this. And yesterday we had this amazing time at Roadrunner Food Bank because their recycling bins happened to be full. And we happened to have been going through all of these packages that had all of these clean to-go containers in them. And so I convinced the team to package all of those up and that I was going to take them somewhere. So by the end of the day, I'm going to show you how many plastic containers. Every single one of those boxes was filled with stacked plastic containers. And that is how much plastic we saved from going into the recycling. And thank you for Ross for helping me figure out where to take them, because there are a bunch of organizations out there who serve the hungry and the homeless that need things for people to take food in. It's one of the things that they're always looking for. And it was one of those magical moments, though, where it was like being right where you're supposed to be, with exactly the right willingness to say, yeah, I'm going to go home and get my truck so we can load pallets up, and we're going to go really slowly home because I don't know if it's really tall. And this conversation just became something so much more. And so we helped 3,000 people yesterday, as well as feeding pigs. And who knew that they give food to a wolf rescue? So we fed wolves as well. And then we saved all of this plastic from just going straight into the trash. And so I am just in awe of what a small group of mighty, committed people can do. And so I'm in great gratitude this morning for that just sense of being in the right place at the right time, with the perfect willingness to say, I'm here, let me show up. Let me be available to what is here. So I'm just going to invite us into prayer with that sense of just being right where we're supposed to be, which may require a little bit of letting go, may require a little bit of deep breathing, letting go of everything that it took to get here and all of the stuff that's going on in life inside us and around us. And I just invite you into this moment of recognizing that right where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. And as we breathe into that sense of perfect place and perfect time, there's a recognition that Spirit is moving through this space. It's moving through the lives of each of the people that are sitting in this space, as well as everyone within the sound of my voice. Spirit is moving and guiding and directing and loving in ways that we can see and in ways that we cannot yet see. And so I open to a deep sense of peace, a deep sense of awareness, a deep sense of welcoming this opportunity we have to be alive and aware and awake. So I let go into this time that we get to share together today. I let go into a deep sense of peace, because I recognize that we are right where we're supposed to be. And so it is.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, lending a hand, lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside, and now it's coming out loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, lending a hand, lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
So today, as we prepare for meditation, led by our most amazing ukulele meditation with John Bartlett, we have a reading called Hymn to Time. Time says, "Let there be." Every moment, and instantly there is space and the radiance of each bright galaxy. And eyes beholding radiance, and the gnats' flickering dance, and the sea's expanse, and death, and chance. Time makes room for going and coming home. And in time's womb begins all ending. Time is being, and being time. It is all one thing. The shining, the seeing, the dark abounding. So we're going to take this sense of just contemplating time and right where we are. And I just invite you to allow for the music to take you wherever it is that your heart needs to go, to whatever wisdom needs to be heard and felt and experienced.
special music this morning. Carla Terwilliger is here. Carla.
Thank you.
This is a tune that she wrote called Rejoice in the New Day.
Every sunrise is a new day, and its pure light takes the darkness away, and you can rise from the ashes of your sorrow with a new song in your heart and hope for tomorrow. Yea, rejoice, rejoice in the new day. Lift your head up and wipe your tears away. Each yesterday is in the past. If you can let it go, you'll be free at last. Don't you carry the pain and the guilt around. It will drag you down and keep your spirit bound. Ah, rejoice, rejoice in the new day. Let the Spirit in your heart and bid it stay. New mercies abound with each new dawn, and compassion will never, never end. Love is my portion, my soul says it's true, and therefore my hope is in you. Rejoice, rejoice in the new day. Hear the Spirit say, my child, there's a better way. Rejoice, rejoice in the new day. Let the Spirit in your heart and bid it stay. Compassion will never, never end. Love is my portion, my soul says it's true, therefore my hope is in you. Ooh, rejoice, rejoice in the new day. Hear the Spirit say, my child, there's a better way, a better way. Rejoice, rejoice in the new day. Let the Spirit in your heart and bid it stay. Let the Spirit in your heart and bid it stay. Stay, Spirit, stay.
Thank you. That's Carla Terwilliger.
Thank you so much, Carla. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. So one of the things that I have noticed is that in every spiritual tradition across the world, there is this teaching around being in the present, about our relationship with time, and about how as humans we have this really interesting capacity to spend a lot of time everywhere else except where we are. In our brains, we are going into the past or into the future, and we are actually not very good at being right where we are. So I was thinking about that this week because I came across this statue I have, and this is an ancient story. It's the statue of Ganesha, and I always look at it and think about the story. So Ganesha is an Hindu god who is the remover of obstacles. It's often shown as an elephant, but one of the things that often is also shown is that in one of its hands, it's usually holding one of its broken off tusks. And the story is that Ganesha got so angry about this whole passage of time and his relationship with it that he broke off his tusk and threw it at the moon. And the moon threw his tusk back at him as a reminder that he didn't have a choice. Like that this time thing was part of his relationship to being alive. And so I was looking at that, remembering like how much we like flail and fight against this experience we have of time passing and our relationship to it, when really this is basically one of our biggest teachers. That if we really looked at time, we could see that it was one of the greatest teachers and holds the power of some amazing lessons for us. But the issue I often find is that we find ourselves in these times where we know things are changing, where we know we're in this in-between, where we're not right where things are different. We're not where we used to be, but we're not where we're going yet. And there's this in-between time where there's all kinds of freak out. There's all kinds of wondering, why is it taking so long? Where there's all kinds of sense in which we can't see it yet. And so we have this tendency to start to doubt that it's happening, or doubt that it's right, or doubt that we're good enough, or doubt all of those things. You following that? So I think that one of the interesting pieces and the lessons around time right now, where so many people are in these kind of transition places in their lives, is to get really, really clear about what that lesson is for us right now, about being in between what has been and what will be, and really remembering that there is something brewing, something being built. So one of the other images that I find really powerful is there's a certain type of bamboo that does something really interesting when it's growing, which is that for the first year, it grows 2 inches. And in the next year, it grows 2 inches. The next year, it grows a little bit more. It gets to about a foot tall. But in the third into the fourth year, it grows 80 feet. And there's this really interesting and powerful thing that it is doing, which is building the roots for what is becoming. It is creating a structure that will hold all of that growth. And I think that that's one of the things that we don't remember about those in-between times, is that no matter how we are praying or how we're holding space or deciding on something new, that there is often the necessity for the container to be created in us to support that. So things have to happen. And often they happen in ways that we don't really recognize at the time. And it's only later we realize that that is what has happened, that the support system for the growth has happened beneath the surface. So I think we need to remember this, because it creates, for me at least, a space in which, especially in those times where it feels like things aren't changing fast enough, that there's an opportunity to remember that there are things that are happening, and that things really can happen in the right time, in the right way. So there's also this really powerful concept that comes from ancient Greek. And I love that the ancient Greeks had all kinds of different words for example, love. But they also had different words for time. So there's the word chronos, which is basically the chronological time, like the time that it takes to get from one place to the other. But there's also this idea of kairos, which is more complicated, and it has more to do with the quantitative, not with the quantitative, with the qualitative, excuse me. That's where I was going. Those words are complicated to me this morning. And so it's like this idea that there's this window of opportunity, and that there's this different kind of timing that we can be open to, this divine timing, this sense in which things are unfolding in ways that maybe don't fit the outward idea we have of how they should be happening, but there is this other deep way in which it makes sense on so many levels. And I know when I can put my focus there, I have this capacity to trust more deeply that really things are unfolding exactly as they should, and that there is a wisdom behind it that is operating. So I think that for me, that there's an opportunity when I'm thinking about time to realize that this time between what is no longer and what is not yet is an opportunity to get really clear, to be clear of that which needs to be let go of, and for a container to be created that will really support where we're wanting to go. But we have to be willing to let that happen. And I feel like so much of our time ends up being spent when we're trying to create something new in consciousness and in form and with prayer and with intention. So much of our time goes into thinking, well, it's not here yet. So much of our time goes into, oh, I don't see it yet. I don't see it in form. I can't see how it's unfolding. And so we spend all of this time doubting and standing in the way of this process of unfolding that really knows what it's doing. And I think that that's the piece that we often forget, right? That the divine knows what it is doing. It really knows what it is doing through us. So when we can start to trust in that, there's an opportunity for us to step back from the ways in which we have been uprooting that which we are creating. And so I have a friend who got so sick of, they really, really liked to grow carrots, but they got so sick of the fact that they were never patient enough to let them get big enough. So they actually got a plastic clear container to grow them in so they could see them growing. And you know, I think sometimes we need to do something like that where we can see it growing, but there's also this really deep way in which we can trust that things are growing, that things are happening, that there are seeds that we have planted that are doing their thing, and we don't need to go pull them out and check on them every few minutes just to see if they're there yet. So time is such an interesting thing, because we have this opportunity to really let it be for us, to let the passage of time and our relationship be one in which it's teaching us that things are always working, that they're always working themselves out. This opportunity we have to have all of these different things happen in our lives and to have them happen over time, and all of the things we get to learn and experience and move and change through. There's this really deep and powerful way in which we can start to see that the universe really is on our side, that things are really unfolding in a perfection that is bigger, but we spend so much time worrying about our timing of things because we're on a schedule. Anyone? Am I the only one? I want it to happen right in my timing. I want it to look exactly how I think it should. And I just know that we limit the divine in so many ways by maintaining that that's the only way that we'll accept our good, is if it comes in the package of Tuesday at 4 p.m. or whatever that is. There is something else that is operating that can be activated if we are willing to trust really deeply in something bigger in ourselves operating. So I know also for me that this is an experiment in how willing can I be to let go of my agenda. And I know that this is a big one because we often think we have a really clear idea about where we're going. We have hopes and dreams and prayers and intentions, and we think we know where we're going. And right in the midst of that, something else can be brewing. In fact, almost always is. I know for myself, it is almost never what I think. And so staying open enough in our intention to allow for things to unfold in God's timing, in a divine timing that is bigger, can allow for something more powerful to happen than what it is that we were expecting. And it can happen so sweetly. So this is another piece of what happened yesterday, which is that somehow between me being crazy enough to load my car with all of that plastic that you saw earlier and cart it away and make sure it went to people who needed it, the manager of the whole facility came up and said, sounds like you're really creative. I have all of this food that we've been looking to be able to give away, but we can't quite find the right partner. Do you think this could work? And so we started to talk about possibilities, and all of a sudden, I was in the right place to make these connections happen for those who are hungry in this community in this powerful way. And it gives me goosebumps. I was crying in the middle of the walk-in freezer at Roadrunner Food Bank because there's this sense in which if we are willing to let God's timing, God's vision, another idea come forward. I had no idea that's what I was doing at Roadrunner yesterday. I thought I was taking a group of people to go sort produce. And I was. And there was something else happening. And when we're willing to let that bigger thing go and change and move us, even if it changes our agenda, even if it makes our schedule look different, even if it means we have to sort out our priorities differently, that there is an opportunity for something else to happen. Something that has been my dream for 11 years. About making a big and powerful impact and hunger in Albuquerque in a way that is bigger than my resources at the moment felt like they could do. So one of the other things I've been thinking about is this Dan Millman quote. And he says that I have learned that we can do anything, but we can't do everything. At least not all at the same time. So think of your priorities not in terms of what activities you do, but when you do them. Because timing is everything. Timing is everything. So thinking about this in terms of making sure that our priorities are in alignment with our welcoming of divine timing. That our priorities don't set ourselves up in such a way that we cannot allow for a bigger vision to unfold. And this is where it gets really tricky, right? Because we know that we have to hold that higher vision, but we don't have to hold it in such a way that it can't move, that it can't change, that it can't get bigger, that it can't do more powerful things in our lives. And so this willingness to allow for things to move and to change and to make sure that our priorities are in alignment with a higher vision can allow for an internal shift. Because now it's not so important what gets done. It's how willing am I to create a space for this bigger vision? How much space did I make today for this vision in my life? Did I make time for it, or did I set it aside and say that higher vision is only for those times when I have nothing else that I'm supposed to be doing? And I think we do this too often. We set that higher vision aside and say, when everything else is done, then I can focus on that. And I know for myself that instead what needs to happen is how do I create a space for that higher vision in everything? So that the timing of the divine can really operate. And I know when I really do this, magical things happen. Like all of a sudden there's more time. Or all of a sudden things just happen with a sense of ease and grace that was bigger than all of the limitations I put on it. So there's a story that some of you are probably familiar with about the legendary violinist Itzhak Perlman. And the story was that he was actually going on stage at Lincoln Center in 1995, and he started this music and he was playing with this big symphony, and he starts to play, and all of a sudden, one of his strings breaks. And everyone just kind of stops, like shocked. And they wondered what he was going to do. And so no one knew what was going to happen next, and everyone knew it was impossible to play this work that they were about to play with not enough strings. And so the story goes that Itzhak Perlman refused to accept that. And you could hear him for the rest of the evening through the performance, figuring out in his head, modulating and changing and recomposing the piece so that he could play it with what was at hand. So I don't know about you, I don't feel like I'm often that flexible. I instead throw a fit or freak out or whatever that is in that moment. But I think that there's something really powerful about that lesson, right? That really in the moment, if we're really willing to be available, that we can make things move even when it feels like there's an obstacle. Even when it feels like something has gone wrong, that we have this capacity to move with what is happening, and that there's a wisdom inside of us that knows how to do that. We have to trust it, though. We have to be willing to make room for it. And we have to be willing to make the music be different than what we expected, but at the same time perfect. In fact, probably more perfect because of the opportunity we have to really take it to that next level. And so I just recognize that we have this opportunity right now with whatever it is we're in the middle of, because everyone is in the middle of something. I promise you, if it seems like someone's not in the middle of something, it's a lie. So we're each and every one of us in the middle of something, and that there is a container being made and support being formed for this next growth spurt, this next transformation. And if we're willing to trust in divine timing, we can start to see how it's unfolding, even if it isn't fully formed yet. Even if we're not quite there yet. Maybe if we can't even start to sense it yet, that there is something happening. And we get to start to welcome it and celebrate it and recognize that there is a divine timing happening, and we make ourselves available to that. And then the magic happens. Because then we're at the right place at the right time with an openness to be a conduit for whatever it is that is our gift to give to that place or that experience. And something else can happen that is bigger than our idea was before. So I'm going to ask the band to come in, because we're going to pray our way, or sing our way into prayer. And I keep forgetting that I'm changing slides, so here we go. But we're going to sing this beautiful song by Nikki Harris, and then we're going to pray together. So please join me.
It heals us, sustains us, sets us free. A prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, sets us free. A
together, we pray a prayer of love. A prayer in which we open ourselves to the recognition of divine timing. That absolutely everything in this moment is unfolding in a perfection that is bigger than we can see. And we trust and we know in this even when we don't understand. And even when we wish it could be some other way, we recognize that Spirit is moving. It is moving us each along the journeys of our lives. All of the coming together and falling apart, all of the things that feel easy and smooth, and all of the things that feel difficult and painful. I just recognize that Spirit is right where we are. And so when we recognize that a container is being created of support and love for the next stage of our own individual transformation, but also the next stage of a transformation that is so much bigger, that transforms all of life, we allow ourselves to learn and to grow and to open to that relationship we have with all of the things that change in life. And as we open to this sense of being willing to be taught by our relationship to time itself, there is an opening for wisdom and ease and grace and beauty and a bigger vision for us to become conduits to that moves and shapes this thing called life in ways that are more beautiful than we could have ever imagined. And so we really just let go. We let go of our agenda. We let go of our stress. We let go of our fear. And we really open to feeling what it feels like to remember that the only way out is through. That we are in the midst of a great transformational process called life itself. And we are willing to more fully participate in that unfolding, no longer resisting it through our unwillingness to allow for a bigger vision to emerge. So we hold things lightly, including ourselves and our prayers and our ideas about what it all should look like, and we open ourselves to something more, something higher, something more beautiful than we ever could have imagined. We let go into it. We let it be. And so it is.
Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, sets us free. Once again, Carla Terwilliger. Carla.
Alice in Wonderland. How do I get to Wonderland? Over the hill or here or there, I wonder where. When clouds go rolling by, they roll away and leave the sky. Where is the place beyond the eye that people cannot see? What can you see? Where do the stars go? Where is the crescent moon? They must be somewhere in a sunny afternoon. Alice in Wonderland. is the path to Wonderland? Over the hill or here or there, I wonder where. Over the hill or here or there, just behind a tree. When clouds go rolling by, they roll away and leave the sky. Where is the place beyond the eye that people cannot see? What can you see? Where do the stars go? Where is the crescent moon? They must be somewhere in a sunny afternoon. Alice in Wonderland. Where is the path to Wonderland? Over the hill or here or there, I wonder where. I wonder where. I wonder where.
Thank you. That's Scarlett. You're really good.
Thank you, thank you. So now is the time where we move into the sharing of our tithes and offerings. I invite you to take whatever it is you brought to share with this community today and hold it over your heart to give it a silent blessing. We also have text to give if you're interested in giving that way. That's the phone number. So I just am going to ask you as we once again create a space to sing, to open and be available to divine timing right now. And infuse whatever intention, whatever prayer it is that you are making in this space to be supported by this community in. Infuse it with this sense that the divine is unfolding in a perfection that is bigger. And that there is a perfect timing and a perfect intelligence unfolding in you and as this dream and intention. And just feel what it feels like to be able to bring a deeper sense of trust and awareness to whatever that is today. So it is in that sense of being in the right place at the right time that I invite you to sing with me.
Flying high, you know how I feel. Sun up in the sky, well, you know how I feel. Breezes drifting by, and you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, well, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, well, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. of the pine. Well, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm feeling good. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
So we just take that energy of feeling good, of trusting in the universe and trusting in our own wisdom, and we allow for the vision and the intention that we set forward in this space today to expand. For us individually and collectively, we recognize that we are in the right place at the right time for transformation to happen, and so we open ourselves to being a place for that to unfold with ease and grace, with beauty and light. We support each other in this. We bless that which has been given as it goes back out into the world to expand that vision. I just let go into that. I let it be. And so it is. So we just sang a song, and I just have to say, because that was the song that Zephyr and I walked down the aisle to 13 years ago, right after we got married. So happy anniversary, sweetie. And he's right here today, which is really freaking me out. It's really distracting. So hopefully it wasn't so confusing to the people watching. Hi, everyone watching on live stream. We love you wherever you are. We've got people all over the country. And in fact, we've had people been writing me in Europe that have found our live stream and are watching. So that circle of love just keeps on getting bigger. Thank you all for helping make that so. So I just have two announcements. One is that if you haven't yet filled out a Connect card, they're at the info table. There's on that form, there's a place to say, hey, I'd like to participate in this, or I'd like more information about that. And I can get you into our system so that when we have new projects or we need more help, that your information is in there and I can contact you. So if you would fill one of those out, if you have not yet done so, that would be really helpful. It's also a place where you can make prayer requests, and we have a whole prayer team that gets their prayer requests every week and helps me pray with them. And then I just want to let you know that part of one of the beautiful things that has happened because of this whole Roadrunner Food Bank thing is that our Community of Hope project just got a whole lot easier and a whole lot more interesting. So we cook for a Community of Hope, which is a partnership with First United Methodist Church downtown. And we, on Saturday, get together and cook a meal that right now is for around 75 to 100 people. And then that is served. And so the food is going to be provided, which means we can open up some resources to use that money for other things and to make more powerful projects. But I just want to make sure that it's on your calendar if you're interested in being part of that team. Also, you can mark on the Connect card that you want more information about that. So we cook, and it's complicated because we cook for the third Sunday.
I think it's the third.
We cook for the third Sunday, so sometimes we're cooking on the third Saturday, and sometimes we're cooking on the fourth Saturday. It gets, because of time, does this thing. But then the next date is the 26th. Yay, Sharon's my helper today. The 26th of May, we will be cooking, and then we will be back at Roadrunner as well as in May, but I'm not confirmed on a date yet. So I thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your love. Thank you for helping keep all of that plastic out of the landfill yesterday. Thank you for all of the love that you are. Let us sing together.
Let's get together and feel alright. the Lord, and we can feel alright. People get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith, hear that diesel humming. You don't need no tickets, you just thank the Lord. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. People get ready, there's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board 'em. There's room for all that love the most. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let us sing our benediction and go forth and walk in beauty.
Go forth and walk in beauty, and know that we are one. Nicely done.